Hello, Bob here. So, what's up guys? I wanted to make a little thing here for a track guide for some people because I've been asked for one. Um, Another note is I've wanted to make one of these for a wee while. I've wanted to, you know, a big part of this and why I'm getting into all this so heavily is I like being able to help people and give tips and all the rest of it. So wherever I can do that, it gives me a bit of satisfaction. So this is my wee go at a track guide video for this Red Bull ring that we have just up. So even though there's faster guys out there you can learn from, there's guys like Digit who you can, and Key who's probably done a track guide as well. You can look them up and watch a lap time that's a second and a half faster than what I've set here. But I wanted to have a wee go at just showing you the replay and then explaining through the replay afterwards. I'll go through it slowly and just sort of take it corner by corner. But yeah, and I'm just on the wheel. I'm still training and getting used to being on the G29 over playing with the pad on GT for 5 years or something. Recent times anyway. So you know, I'll go into where I make wee mistakes and stuff as well, and where not to do exactly what I've done. But I hope this does help some of you anyway, or at least entertain the bollocks out of these. So I've put a wee bit of thought and time into this, so I really appreciate all the support. And if you guys can give me any feedback, what you took away from it, and whether you liked it or not, or whether it was useful, do let me know. And I hate to say it, but do give the wee video a like and subscribe as well if you're so inclined to get stuff like this in the future. But I'm done waffling. On with the replay. Right, I'll see you later. Alright, so first things first folks, we're revving this car out quite a bit. Not a crazy amount like the BMW M6 for example, but we're revving it out quite a bit, up the gears anyway. But yeah, coming up to the first turn here, you can see as soon as the curb started, I'm already moved my car over. So it's sitting right over this red and white curb. You just have to make sure the wheels don't go off this curb. while you're riding it up here, you'll see. And then turning in. So there, I move over to the curb and you'll see me brake somewhere around the 100 board marker. But I don't actually use that visually as a braking reference. As you'll see when the brakes come on here. I'm actually, yes, it is the 100 board marker, because you see there, this white line is what I'm looking at for a brake reference. So maybe I'm braking slightly before that, I'd say, but we'll see. And you see as well, yep, there's me getting on the brakes. And you see as well with the right wheels, they're both still on this right red and white curb, but I moved over so far to the left here. And then where is it that I start turning in? Handy road markings. So yeah, we're turning in, and essentially I'm aiming to get on this curb. You can go completely over the yellow sausage part there, but it leaves your car very, very unstable, and it caused me so many spin outs. So I think in this lap I'm just going slightly to the left of that, but taking most of that curb anyway. Yep. So we'll run back up here again, brake at the 100 board, turn in, and then you can see there I'm turning in. I don't actually go over the yellow sausage part, but my two wheels are basically hitting it on the right hand side there, and you want it to be so that you're already getting on the throttle flat here. This car, you can be very aggressive with it. You can stamp on the throttle, although you do still have to be careful. It causes a lot of spin outs if you're very hard with it. But as long as your steering's right and you're sort of straight and you're sort of correcting your steering as you're doing it, then it's absolutely possible. And then you'll see as we come up here, I'm getting quite far onto this curb. My whole car is on this curb. The yellow sausage part that my left wheels are riding, that's what you can use as a track limit essentially. So if you have, as long as your right wheels are over that yellow sausage part, you could nearly have me half a car length still over to the left, which just shows you how much time extra that I could have gained out of this corner if I'd done it perfectly. But yeah, you're coming out of there already full throttle from the apex turning in, and then you're going up to fifth. Coming up to here is going to be the same thing. You're braking there at the 100 board, but there you're going down to second. You can take it in first gear. You can go right down to first gear if you're finding it hard turning in and need that extra tiny bit of rotation, but you absolutely need to be getting on the throttle in second gear out of this corner. So there you can see I'm still quite far onto the curb, using so much of the track limits here. Braking at the same point, nice wee white stripe where I use as a visual reference. It's at the 100 board. And then I quite slowly go down through the gears, and then you're turning in about here. So the aim is there to ride as much of this curb on the inside as you possibly can. And you can see I'm still on the brakes. I'm trying to sort of brake and then trail brake into it a wee bit to keep the car stable into the corner. And same again, we're missing this yellow sausage part on the right, but our wheels are practically hitting it. And believe it or not, I want to be on the throttle about here. So here, if you're trying this way, you have to be very, very careful here, because as you're getting on the throttle here, especially when I'm already in second gear, especially when you're in second gear and you're stamping the throttle, you have to modulate your steering very carefully if you're getting on it this early, because you can see how much you still need to turn to make the corner. But there we've got a tight enough turn angle in, and we're away. So we'll go back a wee bit again and watch that corner in normal speed. And you're getting over to the left, braking at the 100, staying straight there, turning in, second gear, throttle there. And then it's a very slow lift off of anti-lag system or whatever it is that takes a while to kick in. But yeah, you pick up a ton of speed there, up to 5th, brake here, turn in, you want to be on the throttle there. So this corner I did quite sketchily, if I'm honest. You want to come up here, so yeah, same thing again. It's maybe slightly before the 100 board I'm braking, although you can get away with braking a bit later than this. Maybe even up to sort of, if your car's sitting just behind this line of the shadow of the sign there, but you can get away with that, you see, if you're trail braking properly into the corner. If you go hard on the brakes and then slightly lift off, but still with brakes applied turning into the corner, which then continues to slow your car down into it. Which is why, if you look at a lot of top replays, you notice a lot of guys would brake a lot later than you can. If you try to emulate their braking point by just getting on the brakes and taking off and lifting in, or lifting off the brakes and then turning in, rather, you're going off. But yeah, I brake a little bit before that just to be safe, really. And then you could get away with turning in a little bit later, probably. See, I'm trying here to do that, what I just talked about. I'm still on the brake, I'm still on the brake, I'm still on the brake. But there's me off it, and I'm probably going to tap the brakes again. Yep, there's me tapping the brake again, just as a mid-corner kind of adjustment. So that's partly me getting used to the wheel, and partly me getting used to trail braking as well, which I'm just after sort of wrapping my head around some weeks ago. But yeah, if you get a nice turn in like this, and then you aim for this curb on the inside, you're riding as much of it on as you can without getting your wheels on the grass. And then you could almost be on the throttle here, but maybe about here. And then I've seen a replay now where somebody, I'll go back here and watch the corner again properly, but I've seen a video of somebody where they go down to second for this corner and then shift up to third, and then they're on the throttle, and maybe that gains them a bit more speed in the long run. I'm not sure, but with certainly getting on the throttle, taking the corner in second and getting on the throttle and letting it rev up to third before you change it, that's what worked for me anyway. Soft and then throttle about there, yeah. You see them all fully on it there. You take a nice wide sweeping line, using as much of the track as you can. So coming up here, we're going to brake at about the 50 board. And I'll just go like this first of all. So this corner I think I could have gotten through it faster if I take a sort of wide line and then take a sharper turn in, which would allow you to get on the throttle, a good bit earlier than what I do. I sort of coast around and hug the curb a wee bit, I think. Yeah, and then you're sort of, I'm sort of very slightly on the throttle, feeding it, feeling for the point where I can slam it down, and it would be around here somewhere. You can see him away. So that's not too bad, but it annoys me how I've taken that corner, to be honest. You can see my brake inputs are quite sharply falling off there. But you're on the throttle there and aiming for this curb. You want your whole car to be on this part here. Although the green, try to avoid getting more onto the green part at the side here, because it really unsettles your car quite a lot. But coming up to here, we'll want to sort of take a half. I'm not sure how I'm braking for this corner, but this is definitely a trail brake, or even brake at 50 or 60% pressure and sort of use the brakes to coast your car into the corner in a nice line. But yep, and then you get on the throttle really early there and use so much of that curb on the outside. So we'll have a look coming up to that one again. This one here, yep, rolling through, power, and then yep. So here, I'll let it turn in a wee bit. See, there's me not quite using the brakes properly. Again. But this is me learning, and this is why I have the time I have and not the time of an alien. It's little differences that make up your driving. They all make up wee tenths together. So yes, you're probably wanting to get on the throttle somewhere around here. You're just looking to where you can go, carry through the momentum in the turn, and not run wide, obviously, on the corner. So yeah, by here we're definitely on the throttle, and then we're away up the fourth. Just making sure again. I'll go back once more to bring that up, but just making sure again whenever you're coming out of that corner that you're within those track limits. So you're on the power, and then that's what I'm aiming for. So my two left wheels are still on the red and white curb as I was talking about per turn one. And then you're already on the throttle, so you're carrying through so much momentum coming here. You just want to steer the car carefully through the change of direction. It caused me to spin out quite a few times, so you have to just be quite ready to counter steer out as you're coming through here, shall I say. But you come up the fourth, up over the hill, move onto the curb to the left here quite a bit, like I've been doing through quite a lot of the corners on this track. If you move over to the left, it gives you such a nicer turn in to make the corner, and then you're on the power earlier going out of it. So I think there we're going to brake probably about 75, a good bit before the 50 board actually. Let's see. Yep, so that's quite far back actually. But if you wait and brake at the 50 board, you're just going to slide off and not make a nice controlled turn in for the corner. But I go down to third. You can stay in fourth if you brake a little bit more, slow down a bit more. But I find it easier going down to third, and then you're carrying that a nice momentum through. But yeah, same thing there. You want to sort of trail brake into this corner. You want to get on the brakes and then sort of slowly start lifting off them as you're turning in here. I'm off the brakes way too early there for my liking. And then you can see as I'm turning in here, I don't actually make quite a nice turn in as I was aiming for. If I had, my two wheels would be over on the right hand curb now. and then I'd be on the throttle a bit earlier. But here we're coming up, excuse my stomach, we're coming up, and same thing with the track limits. You're just wanting to stay within on this curb, no further inside really than about here. And then by the end of the flag painted on the left hand side, that's roughly where your braking point's going to be, or your turn-in point. But yeah, so I'm braking about there. I actually would say if you carried on straight just a tiny bit more than this, and you get quite a sharp turn in here, which allows you to get on the throttle. This is another one of those curbs with a wee tiny yellow rump sausage. I should have been calling them rump sausages from the beginning. But another one of those, and you can just clear your car directly over that to get even a tighter line inside. But again, that's one that will just flip your car, send you into a spin more often than not. So this is probably quite safe. Looks like I'm actually hitting it with my right tires. And then the idea is I'm down to third gear, I've coasted into about here, and I'm on the throttle here. So you're going to end up on this curb here. Same thing with your right wheels on the curb, and then you're on the power all the way out, and that's you. So finally look through the last couple of corners there, up into fifth, braking, tail brake down into third, fourth or third, whatever you find is easiest. And then I shifted up to fourth a fraction there, but you can just rev that out to third, and then that's you. But yes, hopefully, certainly a much better time than that is possible. If I pushed and worked on this, I'll probably come back to this and try and get down into the 27s. But that's roughly what I figured out and looked at so far. So if that helps any of you guys, then please let me know. And it's something I really enjoy doing and wanted to do, and probably will do more, whether you like it or not. So yeah, have fun, and I hope you all get the gold. Good luck.